The push is on from both sides in the debate over LRT in Hamilton, with an important vote coming up on April 19th that's already been postponed once. Councillors must approve forwarding an updated environmental assessment to the province. And if they don't, well, the plan could grind to a halt. So Anna Davey is here joining me in studio. Welcome to City Matters.
Thank you.
Anna, you're pro-LRT.
Yes, I am.
Put that up front, and you've decided we've got to do something. I know the mayor's been very active on social media over the weekend. Councillor Marula has been very active on social media over the weekend, and you've been very active in organizing what?
We're organizing a rally in support of LRT on the 15th of April, which is this upcoming Saturday. And we are going to be organizing at the City Hall forecourt from 12 until 1. We've got a great speaker lineup, including closing remarks from our mayor. There's going to be free food, and we plan to have a really positive, upbeat rally that allows people to feel like they're making a really positive, impact on the planning process, and hopefully in swaying their councillors. We're hoping that they're going to walk away feeling like they have a real say and the ability to, voice their opinion on the matter.
Our mayor several years ago, along with the city manager, went to Queen's Park and lobbied Kathleen Wynne to bring LRT, which has been a long time dream, to this city. Not quite as long as the Red Hill Expressway, but it's right up there with one of those projects in Hamilton that we seem to debate ad nauseum. But he got that $1 billion from the province and its partner Metrolinx to build LRT in Hamilton. We've seen it go from Eastgate to McMaster down to Queenston Traffic Circle to McMaster, with BRT from the harbour to the airport, but not that West Harbour link. So it's been moving around. Your first thought, though, I want to take you back because I digress a bunch. Your first thought, when you heard the mayor come back and Chris Murray confirmed this is what happened behind closed doors. The province of Ontario is handing Hamilton $1 billion. What were your first thoughts?
I was thrilled. It's hard to get a large capital investment like that, and it's difficult to secure 100% funding for any large-scale project. So to know that that was being offered at full funding was an incredible moment.
And whether it's moved around, and there maybe have been a couple of arbitrary Metrolinx decisions, but it begs the question of you. Why do you think LRT is necessary for this city? Because many people, as you know, say, well, we don't need LRT, we just need better HSR service. Why do you think LRT is significant for this city?
There's a bunch of different reasons that really make this a really exciting opportunity for Hamilton. One of those reasons is, of course, that we have this really aging infrastructure under King Street, and $800 million of that $1 billion is going to go towards improving the sewers and the power lines and all those sorts of things that exist, and the road surface itself. So when we already look at having a $3 billion infrastructure debt in Hamilton, getting $800 million to fix a large part of our roads and one of our most heavily trafficked corridors is obviously, that's a great deal financially. But in terms of the actual transit, it's important because we can't grow as a city without having the means to effectively move people around. And we see from people that use the HSR every day that it's not doing a very good job of effectively moving people around right now. The system is overworked and it's insufficient for the needs of its users.
And ridership has been dropping the last couple of years, and that's not a good thing.
No, and ridership has been dropping in a lot of cities. The ones where it continues to grow are the ones where they have an LRT system in place. So we have an opportunity to build that first step of that blast network that we've been planning for so many years to improve transit all over the city for everyone. And that first step is the LRT. We can't get to the end without starting at the beginning.
And Councillor Marula has spent the weekend putting out the maps of BLAST so we can be reminded of the plan of integrating all of our transit, be it highway, be it bike lanes, be it bus, be it LRT, with future expansion, which I've always felt should have attracted a vote in Dundas and a vote in Stony Creek, because it isn't happening with the first shovel. But folks, this is the plan. You don't just build a strip of LRT and then walk away. You expand it and start connecting even more dots.
Yeah, I mean, phase one of any project is never going to look like the finished design. And we are excited about phase one, and we're excited about the finished design, but we can't get there without doing this bit first. And if we kill this bit, none of the other stuff happens.
Yeah. What would be probably wonderful for our mayor is if he can talk the mayor or regional chair of Kitchener-Waterloo to come and speak at the rally. Is that a possibility?
I think that we have a very full speakers roster as it is. But, you know, we're
and I bring
always
that up because the mayor on social media is showing pictures, because there's the unveiling. It's happening in Kitchener-Waterloo. And, you know, sometimes we look around here in Hamilton and go, KW, well, they're smaller than us. What's going on there? But they're doing it. They recognize that they needed to connect the dots.
They're doing it, and it's done, just about.
Just about done.
I would actually love to invite our councillors to take a trip to KW and see what's going on there and see what an LRT system actually looks like and how it actually impacts traffic and affects their constituents. I think that would be a great opportunity.
Why do you think we have gone from unanimous votes to do things to this drip, drip, drip of votes that have fallen off along the way, and Councillor Marula calls it the gang of 10. There are still some undecideds in that gang of 10, but they're leaning. Why do you think this has evolved from unanimous, and then Russ Powers said before he left, no, I won't vote. That was one, but it's adding up. Why do you think this has happened?
I think that there is a really natural human tendency to fear change, and the thought of this amount of change in our city is actually kind of hard to process for some people, not just for councillors, but for their constituents and for people that have grown used to a certain vision of Hamilton and a certain way of doing things. And the thought of stepping outside of that is really kind of uncomfortable, and I get that. I mean, I think it's kind of uncomfortable to think that the road by my house is going to be torn up for an extended period of time doing this project. But, you know, I also think that we need to stop thinking about our comfort level for the immediate and start thinking about what's going to make the city comfortable for the people that live here 20 or 30 years from now, because they're the ones that are really going to be experiencing the full benefits of the blast network, and that's what we need to plan in mind with.
I'm trying to formulate a question that doesn't sound biased. There is a lot of information out there being pushed by both sides. Some of it I think you would put in the category of misinformation. What's the biggest bugaboo that you're hearing from the anti-LRT? I certainly heard a delegation at the last meeting when this was postponed suggest that a lot of businesses in Kitchener-Waterloo along that route had gone under, when we're being told by Kitchener-Waterloo that it's two
which
went
would be
under.
Part of a normal attrition cycle anyhow, to lose a couple of businesses over the course of a large project. I think probably the biggest thing that I'm hearing that's very misinformed is that we can use this $1 billion investment for Metrolinx to fund other things like transit improvements for the HSR or our, you know, any other municipal project you can think of, and that's simply not the case. Once, if Hamilton says, no, we're not moving forward with this, the province is going to spend that $1 billion in another city, improving their roads and giving them better transit. We are still going to be paying for that $1 billion, and then we're going to have to fund all the work we still need to do in Hamilton out of our own pockets. So that is a really misinformed viewpoint, and it's one that I would really like to never hear again if possible, because Ted McMeekin just last week stated unequivocally that no, this money is only for LRT, and if you vote against LRT, you don't get the money.
Cable 14 is going to be there on April the 19th. I believe we're going to begin our coverage at 9 o'clock in the morning that day. Do you believe, Anna Davey, that this is do or die? The environmental assessment must be passed, and it's on shaky ground. Is this the meeting? Is this history making?
I hope that it is, and I hope it's history making in a very positive way. I hope that the environmental assessment revision passes without any further trouble, and that we move forward with looking for proposals for actually building the project.
Anna, thank you so much for coming in. Anna, Davey, April 15th, the rally begins at what time?
Noon.
Noon, City Hall forecourt.
That's correct.
Free food?
Yes,
I'm
hot
there.
dogs.
I'm there. Free food. Member of the media, we're there when it's free.